If you've seen the film Black Hawk Down, this is where the fighting actually started. American forces landed on this building here to try and capture some senior Somali warlords. And they failed to capture the ones they were really after, but it started a huge battle in which several hundred people died in the streets around here. This is the site where one of the American helicopters came down. And there was a battle around here?
Yeah, it affects all over around here.
Are these bullet holes? See here, these are all bullet holes in the wall. You can see the scale of the ferocity of the fighting.
That's the wing of the helicopter. See? Still left there.
So it's incredible. This is actually where the carcass of the helicopter is in here. And all these cactus plants have grown up around it. What do they think about Black Hawk Down? Do they think it was a victory for America or a victory for Somalia? Or
they're saying, hey, this is the American helicopter. They're remembering, I mean, every time.
So they think this is where they think America lost in Mogadishu?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's no government in Somalia, it can be very hard for people to get passports to travel out of the country. Instead of a government ministry, anyone with money goes to see men like Mr. Bigbeard.
Hello, Mr. Bigbeard. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah. What's your name?
Simon.
Simon. That's Simon.
So these are the Somali passports?
Yeah.
And this is what people in Somalia have to do. They have to come and get one of these passports and buy it, basically. They're not able to apply to a government for a passport because there isn't a government. So they have to come to Mr. Bigbeard and he will give them a passport.
Oh.
He's not happy with the photo.
It's a big head.
Big head. Oh, I see. Oh dear. Oh. It's okay?
Okay.
And can I be the ambassador? The Somali ambassador to the United Kingdom?
No. Ambassador of Nairobi.
Ambassador in Kenya?
Yeah.
Okay, just like that. I'm now a Somali diplomat.
I left the chaos of Mogadishu and headed north to Somaliland, which I'd been told was stable and relatively peaceful. When Britain, the former colonial power, left Somaliland, the Cold War was raging. The Soviets and Americans were soon struggling for control of the entire region.
The runway here is one of the longest in the world. It's 4.5 kilometers long. And it was actually built during the Cold War by the Soviets. The Soviets kept heavy bombers here. And in the late 1970s, the Soviet Union switched allegiance from Somalia to Ethiopia and the Russians were asked to leave. And in their place, in came the Americans. And the Americans actually decided to use this runway because it was so long as an emergency landing strip for the NASA space shuttle. And they paid about $40 million a year rent, just in case the shuttle ever got into any trouble and couldn't make it back to America.
We travelled on to Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland. The city was emptied and virtually destroyed during the war, but Somalilanders have worked hard to rebuild. It now bustles with activity, and families have returned.
When we were in Mogadishu, people talked quite lovingly almost about traffic lights, how they used to have them in Mogadishu, and how people used to come in from the outside country to actually just look at the bright lights, the beautiful lights. And now, all the traffic lights in Mogadishu have been destroyed. So as soon as we arrive here, it's quite weird to see traffic lights and cars stopping at them and obeying the rules. It's a sign that there's a government here, there's order. Unfortunately, everybody obeys the lights here. Now they've turned green, our driver has vanished.
What do you mean by that?
Unlike Mogadishu, the capital of Somaliland seems quite organised. The local hospital is named after its founder.
You might just be in time for a baby to be born. Let me.
I'll wait here.
I think we can.
Somaliland's latest citizen, a 4.5 kilo baby boy, had just arrived. Edna used to live in Mogadishu with her politician husband.
I was building another hospital in Mogadishu, by the way. Some warlord with a gun has it. I left my house. Another warlord has it. I left a farm. A third warlord has it. And if I tried to claim all the property I had in Mogadishu, I would have to fight 4 different warlords. I prefer to stay alive.
So where are we now?
We're in the presidency.
So this is the President's office building?
President's building, offices, cabinet meeting.
Edna is also the foreign minister of Somaliland.
Wow. So we're just interrupting. Salam alaikum. So you can see here, this is the meeting of the Somaliland government. All the senior politicians, and Edna, who we're just with, is over here. I think we should leave you to run the country, and we will go outside. But thank you very much for letting us see. Thank you, Mr. President. It was quite an incredible sight to see the government of a place that officially doesn't exist actually in operation. The government ministers all sitting down around the table. And the irony is that this building that they're in actually used to be the home of one of the leading Somali warlords, and now it's the seat of government for Somaliland. Is the President? Salam alaikum, Mr. President. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for agreeing to see us. It's very kind of you. What's your national budget?
Whatever we get. We have no choice. Whatever we get.
How much do you get, roughly? Approximately?
Roughly this year it was 30 million. 30 million.
Is that enough?
It's not enough. But we are satisfied whatever we get. Because all the people are making sacrifice. Sometimes we used to get 5 million, and we used to run this country.
You can run the country on 5 million?
Because by sacrifice. All the people, they are making sacrifice.
Somalia and Somaliland are both Islamic nations. Militant groups are emerging here, and I'd heard there were Al-Qaeda terrorists in jail who'd attacked foreigners in Somaliland.
So Yusuf, who are these men?
They belong to Al-Ittihad, which is closely linked to Al-Qaeda.
So they're followers of Bin Laden?
That's right.
And what crimes have they been responsible for?
They have been responsible for the killing of a Kenyan lady in last March. And also they confessed taking part in the killing of 2 British couples. They could be also have a link to the killing of an Italian aid worker who was killed in October last year.
Officials here claim the men travelled from Mogadishu to launch their attacks. Next on my tour was a trip to a local zoo.
I'm not sure what the RSPCA would say about this place.
First we will see this one.
Are they quite tame? This gentleman has put his hand into the lion's mouth. I won't be doing that. How long have you had them?
This is about, I think it's 5 months, this one. But 4 years I had that, the big one.
There's a big one as well.
This one is small. Be careful, maybe he will jump from here.
Did you hear that? He said, be careful or the lion might jump on you. This lioness is actually one of the lucky ones because most of the animals in Somaliland were killed and eaten by soldiers and civilians as well during the Civil War. If it came to it, do you think you would be prepared to fight again to protect Somaliland? Can you imagine a situation where you would fight again?
I hope it doesn't happen, but if Somaliland's independence is threatened, I have no doubt that the whole nation will rise up. If we are not accepted as members of the international community, that will be another suffering.